everyone, and welcome to Fright, your source for short horror reviews. I'm the Fear Fan, and as the pleasant memories of Halloween fade into the past, it's time to discuss something else that took place long ago. I'm talking about prequels. Yes, while plenty of prequels are famous for shitting the bed by either completely demystifying the series' mythology, providing too much backstory, or being just generally underwhelming, there are a few that not only are the equal of the original, but which occasionally surpass it. Thankfully, the latter is true of today's subject, Ouija, Origin of Evil. Not that it would have taken a lot of effort to surpass the original, the 2014 stinker Ouija, an anemic excuse for a screamer that seems to combine the worst proclivities of dull PG-13 90s horror with the blandness of an underwhelming New Millennium haunting film. It's one of the few films whose trailer broadcasts its badness to such a degree that I refuse to see it in theaters, and after renting it, little apart from an appearance by Lynn Shay while she's between better movies has served to change my mind. And I'm not the only one with that opinion. In fact, it currently holds a whopping 7% approval rating on Rotten Tomatoes. By contrast, Battleship, the Michael Bay-infused explosion fest that drew collective head scratches and derision from audiences in equal measure, has a 34% approval rating. That's right, people found Ouija a full 27% shittier than Battleship. I'll let that sink in. Still, kudos to Hasbro for turning things around, because while Origin of Evil may not be the scariest thing you see in theaters this year, it is a very solid film that's plenty of fun even for jaded horror vets. Origin of Evil is, as the title implies, a prequel to the previous film, detailing the lives of a family of fraudulent mediums that was so central to the plot of Part 1. While the film itself is an interesting combination of the creepy kid, haunted house, and exorcism subgenres, a lot of credit can be laid at the feet of writer and director Mike Flanagan, the rising star of horror that brought us the above-average Oculus, and who others may know as the author of Baraska, an ultra-popular and well-received creepypasta that swept the internet. Flanagan is a huge boost to the series and clearly knows his stuff when it comes to creating atmosphere. While there's nothing here to knock your socks off, it's still nice to see a good ghost film with a style that doesn't need to ape Insidious. That said, it does seem to be part of a new and growing trend of retro horror movies that are either set in the heyday of horror or in a strange version of the present that seems to be a combination of the 70s, 80s, and 90s. I'm not sure why so many films seem to be going this route lately, but thankfully the trend hasn't grown nearly as annoying as found footage gimmicks and meta-humor did at the end of their respective reigns. Honestly, I have my theories, but I think I'll save those for a State of Fear episode. Now, for those of you who are noticing that I haven't said what I absolutely love or utterly despise about this movie, there's a reason for that. And that's because, honestly, nothing in the movie fell into either category for me. The acting is all very serviceable, although there aren't any standout characters. The story is solid without throwing any curves you won't expect, and with one exception, at least for those of you who haven't seen the first movie, the scares and dread are effective without any standout moments. Probably the most memorable thing about it is the fact that, when you watch the original for the first time after this one, it feels bizarrely like a shitty direct-to-video sequel that was somehow released before the original movie. On the whole, Ouija, Origin of Evil is a huge step in the right direction for the franchise, Friday the 13th Part 2, if you will. In fact, I'll go so far as to say that I wouldn't mind seeing another prequel to the series, detailing the atrocities that took place in that house prior to this movie. Final verdict, Origin of Evil, while it isn't an instant classic, is a long way from being a bad movie, and sometimes that's just good enough. Anyway, that's all we have time for today. I'm the Fear Fan, and I'll see you next time on Fright Bites.